And the phone number for information about Paul Hawkins' talk on growing a business in April is 415-553-2200. Well, next this night, it's KQED's Express, a report on trauma centers in San Francisco and how they work to save people's lives. Following this preview of Bill Moyer's show that we'll present in an hour tonight at 9.
There are almost as many Southern Baptists in America as there are Jews in the world. How the nearly 15 million members of America's largest Protestant denomination read the Bible affects more than their own tradition of religious liberty. It shapes the meaning of America for all of us. Join me, Bill Moyers, as we explore their battle for the Bible, God and politics, here on public television.
The battle for the Bible will be fought at 9 o'clock tonight here on KQED San Francisco, Channel 9. By the way, tonight's Express on Trauma Centers, which runs an hour, contains language and subject material that's adult in nature. Parental discretion is advised.
Tonight on Express.
Your chances of surviving a trauma depend entirely on where you have your trauma. If you're in an urban center that happens to have a trauma system that will get you to a neurosurgeon, you can have a good chance of surviving. If they don't, you won't.
Hey, relax. I can't help you if you get like this, okay? I know it hurts, but I can't help you if you don't calm down.
At least 5 times a day, an ambulance rushes to San Francisco General Hospital carrying a trauma victim, a person with a serious wound or injury that causes internal bleeding and demands immediate care. Trauma is the leading cause of death for Americans under 40. San Francisco General has gained a reputation for its success in dealing with all sorts of trauma, from automobile accidents to gunshot wounds. But some Bay Area counties have no trauma center, where in-house surgeons are on call 24 hours. These counties say that trauma centers are too expensive and that local hospital emergency rooms can handle the victims. Tonight, we take you inside the San Francisco General Trauma Center for a first-hand look at the life-saving work done there. Later in our studio, we'll find out why some experts say such centers are unnecessary, while others insist they are the difference between life and death.
Lee, I want you to tell me what's hurting you right now.
Right here.
Right here. Okay. All right.
When I get a radio call that somebody's coming in, we can mobilize the forces, and they're here before the patient gets here. All the surgeons, the anesthesiologists, the neurosurgeons. We have everything necessary to resuscitate the person right here. They can go to the OR right away. We have all the equipment ready. It's just cookbook for us.
Oh, never mind. Emergency ambulance. What's the address there? All right, we'll have someone out there.
10:35. We have
You're
an
welcome.
General time now, 17-16 hours.
The 911 dispatch center sends out ambulances on all medical emergencies in the city.
I don't think we're really thinking a whole lot of the call itself because it's real routine to us. We do this all the time where we're going lights and sirens to a scene, that we're basically thinking of how to get there, the fastest way to get there that's most efficiently through the city, basically just getting there safely. A lot of people that whenever they hear a siren or see flashing lights, and I'm talking about drivers, they freeze. And because of their reactions, it could cause us to have an accident. They could run into us, we could run into them. It's happened. Mainly thinking about protection of yourself before going into a scene. Want to make sure that the scene is safe, that there's police back up there, that they're there, that they've controlled the scene before we even enter it.
I want you to get this shit, man, because they know me, man. They know me, you understand that? They know me.
Each zone in the city is different for the types of cases that you might get. Zone 1 because of the Tenderloin area and just the amount of people that are in that area. You get a lot of exciting cases. I've seen a lot of trauma, mostly minor trauma. One of the things I love the most about this job is the people. They're all unusual. They're all different. They all have different personalities, different moods. Some are nice, some are not so nice. And having to learn to deal with those moods and the way people react to situations, how they react to stress.
Sell me a drug. I'll beat that ass. Do you understand me? Can I see if I can beat that ass? All right, look. All right? Relax. Do you understand that? I'll beat that ass.
I've been working in the medical field since I was 13. I'm a nurse by trade and got into being a paramedic 2 years ago. And I basically wanted to see what it was like outside the controlled hospital setting.
No, sir, we can't do that.
I do this about 1 to 2 times a week. That's probably why I enjoy it so much. I think for somebody that's doing this 5 days a week, it can be extremely wearing on you.
Yes? Are you allergic to any medication? No. Do you take medicine? No. Any medical problems we should know about? No.
When was your last tetanus shot?
The hard thing for me is not so much the violence, but the tragedy of the people who don't have any place to go. Those are the people that really tugs my heartstrings. The people that I have a really hard time letting go are the ones that don't have any place to go.
Why, you know. Why would it play with me?
Hey, calm down.
Why would it kill me? You're still there. And you leave your arm, left arm, leave it. Where's my brother at? He's out in the waiting room. Okay.
I'll tell him you're okay.
You swallowing for us?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Great. You just keep swallowing for us, okay? You just keep swallowing for us.
Good.
Open your mouth for me. No. She stood it up again.
Sure?
Yeah. She stood it up again.
All right.
Okay. All right. The most interesting thing about trauma is that you always have to be prepared for anything. Often with the trauma cases is they tend to happen to everybody. A regular guy was healthy 1 minute, next minute finds himself in a lot of trouble. The worry with her was that she had internal damage to her intra-abdominal organs, a broken spleen, a broken liver, something that would be bleeding inside. The CAT scanner will help evaluate whether or not these organs are damaged or not. CT scanners allow us to have a cross-sectional picture inside the body.
Okay, are you able, Patricia? Yes. Are you able to stop breathing? Can you hold your breath? For each picture that we take, can you stop breathing for a minute?
It looks like a big donut that the patient is gradually pushed through as these cross-sectional x-rays are taken and then reconstructed using a computer. It's a very powerful tool, but not every facility is fortunate to have one and to have the services available 24 hours a day.
Family members of Miss Gaines, please come to the triage desk. Family members with Miss Gaines.
This is the hardest job I've ever really loved. The number one thing you try and keep control of is to make sure that you don't become as crazy as they are. So the first approach is to get control of yourself.
Where you at? He's just fell out. Where you at? You want to kill me, man, or what? I don't want to play with you.
Sir, you're in hospital, not
I know that. I don't want to play with you, man. But they don't know what, man. I'll kill their ass, man.
Okay, cool out now. Cool out. You're going to be all right. Trauma rooms tend to bring out either the best or the worst in professional nurse.
Temper, all right? I was serving temper. You were off the drug. I was serving goddamn temper. I'm going to leave for just that reason.
Can you just try and relax a little bit for us? We need to send you to x-ray.
And they won't be able to do the x-rays if you're crashing about.
Boy, I'm gonna go crazy.
Well, we don't want that to happen. But if it should, we've got a great psych department here.
Psych? A different way.
Lay people may look at us and say, what sick people, because we can find humor in some of the saddest situations. We use humor as a stress releaser. We